Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the KONTAINEROZ podcast. The podcast is sponsored by PortPro, the leading operating system for drayage carriers. Schedule a demo today at portpro.io, and don't forget to mention Containeros for 10% off. In the studio today, we have Big Rob. Uh-oh. That's happened once before. Like, Siri starts going crazy.
Oh, shit. All right.
I put mine on Do Not Disturb. Oh, and it's actually mine.
It was, I was saying, I don't know.
There's nothing to stop here. Check if the device is on your home Wi-Fi network. Anyways, before we were rudely interrupted by Siri. Big Rob, episode 74. He's the owner of R&E Enterprises.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Welcome.
Thanks for having me.
Tell us a little about you to get this going.
My name is Robert, and I've been trucking for, I don't know, about 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's Siri again.
I'm about to turn you off. Siri, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
She want to be a part of the podcast. Yeah, I've been trucking for like 4 years, bro, and this is our first year. Not even a year yet. Well, almost a year in the ports. And I like it. I mean, ports is all right, but we're more of a rail people. We do a lot of rail work.
Rail dogs, you said earlier?
Yeah.
Rail dogs.
Yeah, rail dogs. Mm-hmm.
You mind speaking into the mic for me, please?
Okay.
Feel free to move it around as long as you keep it with you.
Got it.
You know. So, rail.
Mm-hmm.
This whole time I thought you were doing ports only. I didn't know you were like into the rails.
Yeah, no, we're new. We're new at the ports. Once the rail thing slowed down earlier this year or last year, and had to find a second option. So we went into the ports, and it's been a long and strenuous learning experience. But
like how months so far have you been? A year, maybe less, or what?
Almost. It'll be a year in March.
Okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, that's now, right? But like, what did you like growing up? What did you want to be? Did you know you would end up a trucker?
Nah, I did not.
No.
Growing up, I wanted to. I just knew I wanted to be an entrepreneur.
Okay.
So I wanted to have my own something, and couldn't be a street pharmacist. So I had to figure out what I could do. And but my trucking is in my family actually. So I learned from my stepdad and my cousins. And that's how I got into it. Once I graduated from high school, they kind of sat me down. It was like, hey, look, you need to figure out what you're going to do. Mm-hmm. Get your license, and then, you can hit the road, make money. They sold me with the dream of going cross country and partying in spring break or taking a load out to Florida or something, party for a little bit, then drive back and make some money. So, and after that, I'm like, all right. And I like driving anyway. So,
Did you end up doing that to start off?
Nope. I ain't never been past Arizona.
Oh, my bad. Let's try again before I interrupted you.
Yeah, I ain't never been past Arizona. I think the farthest I went is probably Salt Lake City.
Ah, okay. Okay.
I do want to go to Texas. That's on my bucket list, but I don't think I want to go no further than that.
No? Okay. Texas trucking or to visit?
Nah,
okay.
Trucking. Yeah.
Okay. So that's how you got into it? They kind of guided you then, like kind of made a suggestion and you're like, you know what? That's not bad.
Mm-hmm. I'm like, well, at least if I have my trucking license, if I want to do something else, or what if I do something else and it fails, I can always hop in the truck.
Yeah.
So as long as you keep that license clean, you make some money.
Yeah, keep it in the tool chest, they call it, or what? The tool shed.
Keep it in the back pocket. You got to be closer
to
the tool shed.
Yeah. What was your first trucking job? Do you remember?
My first trucking job would be I was working for this one company. We was working at On Track, which is like a UPS or mail service. So I was driving box trucks. with my Class B, and then I got my Class A, and I finally started doing the tractor trailers. Then I moved on up to doing doubles, and doubles is cool. And then after that it was just kind of a snowball effect. Just kept going. Then I got my own truck. I think in 2020.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but yeah, so that's how I started. And then was riding around with my stepdad. I actually taught myself how to drive trucks. So I didn't go to trucking school.
The shifting part and all that?
Yeah. Shifting I learned. I went to trucking school for 8 hours. Just for I went to GSF. over there off of Slauson in LA.
Okay.
Yeah, they gave me a little special 8-hour course just to learn how to back up for this the specialty the DMV thing.
Yeah.
So I went there, and but other than that, I knew how to drive because I've been around trucks all my life. I already knew how to shift gears and stuff. So I taught myself really. You can't do that no more because they passed that stupid law. But
this year, right?
I think it was last year.
Oh, last year?
Yeah.
Oh.
They was hating. Too many people was getting their license.
Yeah.
So they was like, oh, I figured out a way how to stop it.
Yeah. No more bragging rights. Hey, I put you on. Remember when I let you use the truck to go, you know?
Exactly. So now everybody got to go to school, and the schools and hike their prices up.
Yeah. Yeah, the prices are outrageous.
Yeah.
Hey, with that doubles, I have my doubles endorsement, but I've never really had to haul doubles. Like, how was that first time? Like, shit, I'm going to hook up to
scary as fuck.
Yeah.
It's just because, you know, you got to watch it, and then you got to make sure that you load the right trailer because your heavier one got to go in the front.
Oh, shit.
You know, because you put the heavy one in the back, which has happened to me before. It'll just be like, it'll feel real unstable, you know? So I used to take the doubles up to San Diego, and then after San Diego, I would take them up to Hayward. So going over the Grapevine with them and all that stuff, you know, it's kind of sketch. But other than that, it was cool. Hardest part is hooking up to them, backing up with the little dolly thing.
Yeah.
And if your dolly's way across the yard and you don't have a pintle hook on the back of your truck, like, and that's the thing that
oh yeah, pull it around like.
To pull it around, you gotta muscle it. You can't get over it. So.
Oh, okay. Because at that point those don't have brakes, right?
They do, but it has a button on there where you could release the brake and then you can pull it.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah. It's a lot of work.
Yeah.
Sometimes. But if you work for like FedEx, they'll have your stuff already ready. You just hook up and go.
They'll even leave one of those in front, like ready to hook?
Yeah. They'll leave you in the lane. You just go hook up and go. On track? Nah. You got to find your trailer in this part of the yard, take it over here, put it in the spot, find your dolly, put it over here, and the hook. Yeah.
Yeah, it sounds crazy. Like the FedEx yard during peak season in Rialto, all over the place. You see guys hooking up, not hooking up like that, but hooking up too.
Yeah.
All right. It's funny, you know. I had my doubles endorsement. And I never used it.
No.
Yeah. I had the tankers one. It came handy for some containers. They're considered tanks, right? So, but they were in hazmat. So,
I did all that. I got all of my endorsements. Tanker, hazmat. I use everything.
Is it worth it to have the hazmat?
I think so.
Knowing that you can get a ticket and it's highly detrimental to your license because it's 1.5 points now, right?
Yeah, just don't get no tickets.
Yeah,
you gotta be safe. It is worth it. I'll let you know. I took a hazmat load from WBCT to Tucson, Arizona. 3,600. One run, so once in a day.
Damn.
So you know it's worth it.
I'll get my hazmat then.
Yeah,
all right.
You know, sometimes you get them little special ones.
Dude, I'll drive safe for that amount. Shit.
Yeah, man.
All right. But that's okay. We'll get into that because I'm sure that's all under the whole the level you're at now, right? It comes with those rates,
sometimes,
right? Okay. Which we're there. Can you share the steps you had to go through to get to this point, and let us know what point you're at?
Steps. Let's see. Starting from the beginning. You got to get the money to buy a truck if you want to go the owner operator route. I mean, you don't have to, but if you want to, the steps I did is back in 2020. You know, when everybody was getting their money.
Yeah.
You know, all this. I ain't gonna really get into it, but
yeah.
I came across a good enough amount of money, and instead of me blowing it, you know, to try to on some bullshit, I went and bought a truck. So, and my thing is the steps I took is I found a decent truck that had some life in it, you know, but it was just a regular Freightliner day cab. I paid $35,000 for it.
Okay.
And this is like right before the trucks shot up.
Oh, okay.
You know, and then I just worked the truck, and also in order to get my numbers and all that paperwork and all that stuff, I just reached out to one of those companies where you pay them the fee and they'll get your license, your DOT, MC, all that stuff. You know, so did that, and then next step would be tagging along with, everybody wants to jump out and get their own stuff. But when your authority's new or when you fresh in the game, it's easier to just go in under somebody else, you know? And then, it was for me. and then just work, get the work going. And then once you start getting the hang of like, okay, this is how this works, or this is how the billing works, or whatever. Then you can start trying to branch out and find your own. Because just being out in the field, you're gonna run into people who gonna give you information. They're like, oh, I got this broker or this dispatcher. Call them. They'll hook you up. Just kind of go from there. I ended up getting another truck, and then that's when I found I started reaching out on my own after I done went through the dispatchers. It's kind of like a level. It's levels. You got the people who have their the signs like, owner operators 1-8 whatnot. Go through them, like sub haulers, whatever. And then you start going through dispatchers. Then from dispatchers, you go to brokers, And then that's where I'm at right now. It's kind of like that broker thing. And then the next one above brokers would be direct freight, like straight customer who, move their warehouses, their stuff. I ain't got there yet, but I'm trying to.
But if you do get there, that customer is gonna want you to have like a brokerage authority.
No, you don't. You actually don't need that. If you are the, from my understanding, I could be wrong, but if you are the carrier and you're working directly with these people, you don't need a brokerage license. Because you're the carrier. But if you want to take their work and give it out to people legally, then you do need a broker's license for that.
Okay.
But if they decide like, hey, you know what, hey Rob, we like how y'all work. We want to give you this lane. You don't need a broker's license for that. You just need to have your own MC and all that stuff. Your own authority. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So if I have my own authority and you get work from a customer and you have it and you hand it to me, that's still double brokering, huh, from your end? Yeah. Because you're supposed to supply your fleet only.
Technically, yeah. Okay. Yeah. It depends. But if they give you the approval, if they, you're like, hey, look, one of my trucks broke down. I have my buddy. He has his own authority and stuff, but he's gonna help out. Is that cool? If they say yeah, then yeah, you good. So,
okay. Communication.
From what I was told.
Yeah.
I don't want people to be like, oh no, he's telling you wrong information. But
yeah.
That's just from what I was told.
All right. So you got the TWIC, the RFID tags, and all that stuff.
Oh yeah, for the ports. Yeah, yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay, so the port thing was real difficult for me. Well, because I didn't know like that you had to get your concessions thing, and like I'm like, all right, well, where do you get that, and where do you get the RFID from, and how do you I had my TWIC because I used to work for a environmental company when I was a company driver, so we had to go into refineries and stuff, and you had to have a TWIC card. Okay. But and then I learned somebody put me in contact with somebody down there at the clean truck fee port thing, and they're like, yeah, it's gonna be $2,500, and I'm like, that's a lot, But I found out that's just the price you gotta pay to get your concessions agreement. So once you get that, then you gotta have your clean truck, the truck that's 2016 or newer, I think it is, to be in the port. Okay. You register that, and you got your RFID, and then your insurance, your UIA crap.
How was that? Did the same person that set up your...
No, so that one I went through my insurance company. I just told them, like, hey, look, I keep hearing about this UIA thing. I want to get UIA certified. So then they're like, okay, well, is this these limits? This is going to be this much or whatever. And then once you do that, that opens up more doors for you. So that's how we got in the rail yard. Because the broker that I was with, they were like, oh, you need to be UIA certified. I'm like, all right. So I got in there, and then after that, it was just kind of snowball down the way.
And they ask you what lines you're going to be using most of the time?
Mm-hmm. Yep. And then, but I just go for everything.
Everything?
Yeah, I just tell them, just sign you up for everything, bro, because you never know.
But what if some are more expensive because some require workers' comp, I think. Like the Swift ones, I think that they come with like...
They do. I got one of those.
Wait, how does that work?
So with the workers' comp, it can be real expensive, so... What I did was I went through ADP. ADP has people like, oh, ADP costs too much. Like, yeah, but you got to invest in your business though, bro, So I went through ADP.
It sounded like you told someone that already.
Yeah, I did. I told them, like, you got to invest in your business though, bro. Like, it's going to be expensive. Like, people think that straight out the gate you're going to make all this money. Yeah. The money coming in, but you got to reinvest the shit, So, okay. But I did ADP, and they have a thing called pay by pay. So you can get workers' comp without putting a down payment, because that's really what people can't do it, because the down payment, like State Fund, California State Fund and shit, they want like $25,000. Don't nobody have that money. Well, I don't know. I don't. Yeah. So ADP has a thing called pay by pay. So what they'll do is they'll ask you like, hey, how much do you think your yearly gross is gonna be for employees or whatever, how much you gonna make, whatnot. And then what they'll do is every time you run payroll, they'll take a percentage out of that payroll to pay your workers' comp. So now you got workers' comp. So now when you got workers' comp, it opens up doors for Swift. A lot of people work at BNSF, but a lot of people don't work at UP because UP, which is Union Pacific, you need workers' comp to get in, So then that opens up for Union Pacific. And then once you get into Union Pacific, that opens up things for, I'm giving them all the game. That opens up things for like Hub Group, North, I can't remember the name right now. I'm drawing a blank. But the UMAX boxes and STG, the XPO, all those boxes you see, once in there, it opens up doors for you to reach out to them because now you have that, you got that licensing
it's a good one
to get in, so. Yeah, I teach master classes. So if you want to learn more information, just reach out to me, and then we'll talk about prices. No, it's fine.
You too can have this badass watch. Okay, flex on him real quick.
It was on sale.
Hey.
I like sales.
I appreciate your honesty. Hey.
Yeah, of course, for sure.
So that by pay then, so it's like a deal, right? They work with you. Mm-hmm. And if it works out and you land some deals, just break some bread, right? A percentage of that, right?
As far to what the ADP? People?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's their contract, so they'll automatically take it out, but their deal is that you have to run your payroll at least once a month. Through them, so
through them.
You have to run, so no more writing checks, no more 1099. You can do 1099 through them or whatever, but it has to go through them, so, and then they'll take out, if your payroll's $20,000 for that week, however percentage they might hire you on, which 8.9. California, it's high. It's expensive, bro. And then that come out of there. So, yeah.
So they're plugged with the workers' comp people or whatever? Or
ADP, yeah, they do all of it. They find
they cover you too.
Yeah, they'll find
I thought they just did payroll though,
they
do a lot. You know what I mean?
They do a lot. Retirement. Like I had retirement funds set up, bro. What is it? 401k.
Yeah. Okay.
I had cut it off because when things slowed up, I couldn't afford the extras. But they help you out with all of that, bro. And side note, I actually I got a pending case right now, but it's a workers' comp thing. One of my drivers. Everybody knows Maersk over there in Santa Fe Springs off of
that
Excelsior Street, whatever, the real big one right there off the 5.
Is it a Damco thing?
Yeah, that one, the Damco thing. Yeah, I had a driver, he got hurt there.
Okay, on that property.
And he got, it wasn't my fault though.
Yeah.
Their fence is electrified.
What?
And there's those signs. Well, where he was at, it was dark and there was no signs. So
oh shit.
He was doing his trailer check. And he went around. He tried to cut around the K-rail around the back instead of walking all the way around, and grabbed on the fence, and it shocked him.
Oh.
Yeah, it shocked him, and he fell back, hit his head on the trailer. So he has a whole huge lawsuit with with Maersk, but it pulled me in too because technically he's on the clock.
Yeah.
So workers' comp, you covered. A lot of stuff that take people out of business. So
yeah, there was that.
Yeah, it's horrible. It's
stuff like that. There's got to be signs, bro.
It does. So,
there's even signs on coffee now because of
it's too
McDonald's.
hot.
I think it was someone sued them because you didn't let me know it was hot. I burned myself. I was like, well, bro, what?
Yeah, it's not gonna be cold.
Shit. But I'm about to sue all the spoon manufacturers because these motherfuckers made me fat, bro.
Well, yeah, that's the thing. With workers' comp comes in handy, man. So I didn't have to worry about none of that. They wasn't workers' comp. Wasn't too happy about it, but it is what it is.
But you're ready. You got all the essentials.
Mm-hmm. So gotta be,
cool.
Little extras to protect yourself, man.
And what about the logins? You got the concessions. Did you have to do logins for these terminals?
Logins?
To make the appointments, or how do you go?
Yeah.
You paid your concessions. Now what? What do I do?
So
I have it right now. What am I gonna do today?
You have to. Damn, I don't even remember because there was so much going on. You have to reach out to each port, and then you set up the logins for their. One you do eModal first. Everybody knows that one.
Okay.
Then, but there's only certain ports because I had got on eModal and I set up my thing and I'm like, hey, I only see 4 ports. I don't see APM and Phoenix and all that stuff. And I'm like, y'all need to fix my account. Like, where the rest of the ports at? And they're like, no, they don't. You have to go through them directly. And I'm like, what? That's dumb. So you have all these different websites that you got to go to, sign up, and they got to verify you. And you put your scat code, all that crap. Yeah.
Then
More free info.
Then you make appointments.
Yeah, then you make appointments, and then that helps with your empty returns. And
Okay.
stuff.
So your desk probably looks all crazy, right? You got all these tabs
Man, I don't
open.
even have a desk, bro. I got a laptop and a backpack.
Yeah, on the go.
Yeah, on the go, bro. I do it at. You can ask my buddy Daniel at GoLink. Shout out to GoLink.
Shout out.
He's like, "Oh, you working?" I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, well, "Who's booking your loads?" I'm like, "Me." I'm like, "I'm in the truck right now, hot spot, and trying to see who got empty appointments open or whatever,
Okay,
until I can afford a port dispatcher, but they're expensive.
Eventually, that's the goal, right?
Yeah.
What's the most you've got a quote from a dispatcher? How much do they want these days?
I think one dude told me he wanted like $1,900 a week or something like that. I don't know,
Almost $2,000 a week.
Yeah,
huh?
and I'm like, damn, that's a lot. But I got Port Pro now, so
Hey, what?
I
What
do
was
a
that?
lot. Yeah, Port Pro. It helps out.
All
Port
right,
Pro
all
helps out a lot, so I could do a lot of stuff myself. So
From the truck?
yeah, on my laptop. Yeah,
crazy.
man.
I mean, on the go, right?
Yeah,
Web based and all that.
Mm-hmm. So if there's any dispatchers out there that's maybe it's a little cheaper, hit me up.
Port Pro certified. Hey, that helps too.
Yeah, for sure.
All right. Okay, I'll give you a break on all that stuff because there is a lot, right? Like I'm sure there's a lot more that can go into that, right? Like,
Yeah.
But everyone will have to learn certain stuff as they go because every situation is different.
That's what I had to do. I had to learn
Yeah.
a lot as I go with, as far as empties and per diems and chassis fees.
Exactly.
And,
That's the part. You forget about something that could put you out of business.
For sure. It really can, bro.
Yeah.
Because I just got a chassis invoice for $7,000, and I'm like, am I use that many chassis? But you gotta stay on it and make sure you don't spend your chassis money that you put in your quotes.
Oh, the deposit stuff?
Yeah, like how you tell me, okay.
Accessorials?
Yeah, that's
okay.
I can never say that word right.
Yeah,
but,
I can't even spell it. So if it makes me feel better.
Make sure you don't spend your accessorial fees on other shit.
Okay, put it right back in.
Yeah, you need to. I think I got the idea from you. From one of your posts. It's like make a separate bank account just for chassis fees and storage. If you pay storage fees or whatever, that way your money's there.
Okay. That probably wasn't me. Someone shared it and I shared it.
Yeah. I think somebody. Yeah, I think
kinds of
something
information
like that.
out there.
That's another reason why I like the rail yard, because you don't have to deal with none of that.
No, and also the midnight, right? The midnight is the last free day type of stuff there.
Yeah,
midnight. It's like universal. You already know midnight.
Yep. So they have their things, but most of the time you pick it up, and everything's on chassis already and ready to go. Most of it. Yeah.
Okay.
So.
Well, thanks for sharing all those gems. One last thing about that, broker tips. Once you're at that level, how do you reach out to the brokers? Are those emails legit? Please give the best rate for this, or
Best rate also stands for your cheapest.
Yeah, right.
And, yeah, I'm like, bro, I'll tell you
my worst rate.
Yeah, for sure. I tell them, and it just gets annoying. But yeah, some of them are legit, some of them aren't. I figure you gotta keep your ear to the streets. And if you got Facebook, in the port groups and the broker groups, and that's what I do. I join all those groups, and I see what people say. They're like, oh, hey, don't, are you having problems with Best Bay or,
all these?
There's certain ones, Big Bird or something. Like there's certain names, and I'm just like, okay, when Grace Logistics, like it was a whole thread, and people like, I never got paid from them. So when I see those emails, I don't even open them.
Oh,
I don't even pay attention. So, but
because the truckers do give those in detail reviews,
they will let
right?
you know, like, bro, I did this and they didn't pay me, or this person didn't want to pay the per diem fees or the whatever, whatnot. So, you gotta make sure you make a little list of like, okay, XYZ, don't talk to them, So,
okay,
Best Bay is one of those. Well,
that's how you feel.
For me, I had a cool experience, but people have too many bad reviews for me, so I'm like, I'm not even gonna risk it.
Okay.
Because for a couple container moves, man, and it depends on how it is, I can put you out.
Yeah, for sure.
It'll add up a lot.
One scenario real quick before we move on. Like Culito lines. You heard of Culito lines?
Yeah, the one that JB Hunt does or something, right?
CU lines.
Yeah.
Well, they came in the game like COVID, right? There was like a product of COVID or something. That's like, hey, we want to play too. So I had heard there was a $3,000 to go to Commerce, right? So imagine that, like you take that, but then they won't receive the empty for like a month or more. So is it worth it? You know?
Yeah, I don't know. It depends. People say, "Oh, email them," or certain. I think that it should be illegal, bro. Like, why are we responsible for if we can't return it or if this customer can't accept? That's not my freight. My job is to just pick it up and move it. I'm not. What the fuck I'm gonna do with your container? I don't want that shit.
Yeah.
So
and then
like,
on top of that, you pay storage.
Yeah, I pay storage for it, and it's just like I'm trying to return it. Why do I have to send you screenshots every fucking day if there's no? That there's no appointments, bro. Like, stop fucking with me.
For real. Wow. It couldn't be any more clear.
Yeah, so that's my thing with same thing with MSC. Right now, MSCs are like impossible to, unless you have a dual, impossible to return. So my thing is what I learned is just team up with other people.
Okay.
Other companies and stuff, or bigger companies, get cool with them because, you might have an empty MSC and they might pick up a lot of MSC. They might be constantly returning them because they might have that lane for something,
Okay.
Just be like, hey, hey, I got this 40. Instead of your driver Bob telling in, can you use it as a dual and get rid of it for me? If they're cool, they'll be like, yeah. Some people say no, but I've done that before. I worked with through GoldLink. He helped me out with some people he knows. He's like, all right, here, take it to this spot. They're gonna return it for you. And then they'll send you the make sure you get the proof that they sent it in
for the street turn. Is it a street turn?
It could be a street turn, but I don't know if that was very smart on my end, but I gave it to them. I gave it to them, and they were just like, okay, hey, here's proof we dropped it. But I didn't know about street turns.
Yeah.
So now I know because I've done a couple of them.
Yeah, because the clock is ticking on how much you're gonna owe for that container. The minute you do that, it ends the clock for you, and it's transferred over to them. They start fresh.
Yep, exactly.
Because my scenario, one time I met a guy outside the line at F10 before Pier E was relocated. Well, it's still there, but when
I don't even know.
When you used to enter over there in the back. Anyways, the old Pier E.
Okay.
Those lines would get huge, right? And I was just chopping it up with this guy there. He's like, "Oh, that's an empty. Oh, that's what I need." And we're both looking at each other like we're feeling stupid, right? Like this long ass line, I got what you need, why can't we just trade right here? So from that day forward, I took his number down, and every time I had that type of empty, I'll meet up with him or take it to his yard, and I'll go home. No need to be stuck in F10, right? To return that shit. But then later on, I found out I got chewed out by the company owner because. Well, not chewed out like that, but it was brought to my attention, like, don't do that shit because we won't allow that no more because of this. What happened? Well, it turns out they would keep the empties at the yard just to cover their ass and have them there for when they needed them. Just, you know what I mean? And that shit was running. The latest they in-gated it, loaded, was like almost 2 weeks one time. You know what I mean? So that shit was not cool. The dispatcher wasn't updating or doing any, you know what I mean? So...
Yeah. See that.
Get that street turn.
Yeah, the street. Yeah, for sure. And you know what? I have one. You just reminded me. I got a bill from Ames right now because I street turned a container, and it was on an Ames chassis. This is a learning experience, and I didn't know. I'm thinking like, okay, well, once they take it in the port, it'll all get communicated, and Ames will know that that's under their thing now, whatever. But it don't work like that. Not for Ames, at least.
Not for Ames. Okay.
So. Cause I got an Ames account, so when that person finally returned the Ames, or whoever it was, finally returned the Ames chassis, it looked like the tires were damaged. It looked like they didn't release the brakes and they drug it, so like the tires were like the tread was like grinded down, or maybe they took some old tires and swapped the tires or something like that.
What I was gonna say.
So I got an email from Ames and like, oh yeah, you owe us $800. I'm like, $800 for what? And they sent me the pictures and they sent me the picture of the license plate of the truck, and I'm like, that's not one of my trucks, like and so I'm calling them. They're like, oh well, this person returned it. And I'm like, oh, that was a street turn container.
I like that. I'm a container.
Yeah, I was like, that's a street turn container, and they're like, oh well. They was like, yeah, but did you street turn it on our end? I'm just like, nah. I was like, I didn't know. So they were like, yeah, the ports don't. They was like, maybe one or two of them do, but the ports don't relay that information to us. So you're responsible until that Ames chassis comes back into our depot. So I'm like, fuck.
I didn't know you could street turn chassis too.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, the Ames ones you can. The port ones, once you take them in there, they're under you. So, but the pop ones, I should say.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that was an expensive learning. So
thanks for sharing.
You know, things like
you
that.
could have kicked that down to that company if they're cool. They would
I don't even know, but yeah, I think she told me. Was that? See, that's the thing. When you return it, they don't ask you for your company or nothing because you're bringing it back. When you take it out, yeah, you know, scat code and all that stuff. But they just take a picture, license plate, whatever. So I had to figure out. You know, I tried to figure it out, but I just left it alone. I'm like, all right, well, listen, learn. So,
yeah,
you know,
yeah.
Because they're not gonna pay it anyways. You know, most like I could be wrong, but
it would get complicated. Like
it would, yeah. Because she was like, "Oh, we could try to connect you," and I'm just like, you know what? Because they're probably gonna be like, "Oh, that wasn't us," whatever. You know. So,
yeah, if it was just about the days out, it's like, all right, we'll reimburse you, no problem. But then when it gets into the $800 because of some tires, then I bet they would be like, I don't know, it gets a little more.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So.
Okay, let's move on. What advice would you give someone that's thinking about doing port work?
Don't do it. No, I was kidding. No, I would say just to connect with other companies who's been doing it, you know, and other people, and get information from them. Like I have a buddy, and he's been doing ports for like 20 years, but he don't have his own. He don't have a scat code or nothing. He don't want that because he don't want to deal with all this stuff. But he works with a lot of different companies, so he knows a lot. So I'll call him like, hey, you know, what can I do for this, or what can I do, and you know, he'll tell you. So I would say connect with a lot of people, socialize, you know, and don't be an asshole in the ports. You know, wave people and, you know, hop out and say, hey, you going here? Like, yeah, I'm going here, you know, to the same pile, whatever. Y'all sitting in line. Sometimes the conversation might spark up. You might exchange numbers because that person knows, you know, they know more stuff than you do. So, you know, that's all I would say. Just do your research and connect with people. So,
hey, if their container is on top of yours, are you moving over? That's different.
It depends, you know. It depends, but you know, I don't know. It's just if I ain't been there all day, it's like, all right, bro, just go ahead. But
get out of here.
So yeah, that's the thing.
Oh man, there's still people that think that because theirs is on top, you should move. Anyways,
nah, because that don't mean the crane gonna get to it. It's like I don't even know.
It might flip him and then leave. Then
yeah, exactly. Or it might happen right before lunch. I've had to happen before. You're like, oh yeah, okay, this you a spot, you know, 247. I'm in 240 or whatever. It's like, okay, yeah, go ahead, you know. And then the crane will service him, and next you know the little car coming on here. You on lunch, so now you waiting 2 hours. Like, oh fuck, you know.
The guy locking his pins right in front of you too.
Like, oh yeah, thanks man. Like, god damn it, fuck you.
Any specific port experience you had that still sticks with you to this day? Argument, fight, you got lost.
I
lost your cool.
Almost. This one lady, yeah, at Trey Pack. This one lady at the pedestal. I had an appointment for an empty end. They wouldn't let me do a duel, so I had an appointment for an empty end. And then like 45 minutes later, or my next appointment, which was an hour later, was the load out. So I told the lady, I'm like, hey, you know, empty in, load out. So she's like, okay, well, what's your loadout number? And then I gave her the loadout number. And then she was like, oh, you're too early. I'm like, well, my empty in appointment is right now. So can I do that? And no, go to trouble window. I'm like, all right. So go to trouble window. She's like, I'm trying to figure out like what's going on. She's like, oh, there's no appointments. You're too early. I'm like, I do have an appointment. I'm looking at it right here. She's like, call your dispatcher. And I'm like, listen.
I am the dispatcher.
Yeah, I'm like, listen. She's like, I don't know what to tell you. I don't deal with that. Your dispatcher's supposed to. I was like, bitch, I am the dispatcher. Oh, you're the dispatcher? She was like, how are you the dispatcher and you don't know what time your appointment is? I'm like, I do know it. I'm trying to tell you, but you're not fucking letting me talk. Like, you know? So she's like, no. She's like, oh, she's like, she's like, do you just drive yourself or do you have other drivers? Do you just send in your other drivers into the port, these port drivers, and just let them get turned away? And I'm like, lady, what are you talking about, bro? Like, it was just too much. I'm like,
Yeah.
come outside.
Nah.
No, but nah.
In your imagination or what?
Yeah, in my head, you can't get down like that. But it's just I don't like how they talk to people, bro.
Mm-hmm.
And so you got some nice people in there, and then you got some that's just assholes.
Yeah, it's frustrating when you can't explain yourself, and
Yeah,
I guess there's so many trucks that they just want to get you out the way.
It was empty. It was nobody in there, bro. I'm like, lady, you can give me 30 seconds to explain. Y'all not busy. If you was busy, okay, all right, I understand, whatever. But it's me and 2 other people in here.
Wow.
So, some of them just think that they just.
At the end, were you wrong about the appointment procedures?
Nah,
or
it was right. All I did was I went out and I came back in. And she was like, didn't I just help you? I'm like, empty in. And then I gave her the empty in number, and then she printed out the ticket. And I'm like, I thought I didn't have no appointment. Mm-hmm. So then, but then I wasn't able to get my load out because after the empty in took so long. Then I had to go back out again to try to do the load out one. So I got that ticket, but then I got to the little pedestal thing, and they kicked me out. They're like, we're closing. We're taking out everybody from the pedestals. And so if you're not at the block, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, well, what the fuck y'all let me book an appointment for then? If y'all gonna close 20 minutes after the appointment window. So, yeah, that was a bad day.
Sounds like it.
Yeah, it was.
It sounds like they should have grouped it. You had to group it, right?
That's what I was trying to get them to do when I first went in there. But then she was like, you don't have an appointment. I don't know. She did something weird, but.
Ever since then, did you try a different? Did you group them now, or was it grouped?
I always try to group them when I can, but for some reason it wouldn't let me group those two. I don't know why.
They fucking with the system, huh?
Yeah, it was something. So
all right.
I just try to stay away from that port. I don't like it. It's horrible. They should shut it down.
Oh, the longshoremen listening would say, "Well, you wanted automation."
Nah. And it's funny. I have longshoremen family members. My mom's a longshoreman. My uncle.
For real?
Yeah, my uncle's a longshoreman.
So you hear all the
I call them and I'm like, yo, these people are like, what are y'all doing? My mom's new at it, but my uncle's been doing it for years.
Yeah.
My cousin's a longshoreman. I forgot. He's been doing it for years too. He's a longshoreman and he works at the hospital or something in his spare time, whatever. But yeah, man. But so you have little cards, the little cards that I pull like Side note, my mom's friend, I guess her dad is like well known in the longshoreman community or whatever. So I just name drop him, and then be like, okay. So sometimes,
get out of here.
I'm like, hey man, what you talking to? So yeah, but yeah, So,
what are some things that you think are like a myth about like the longshoremen that regular truckers might not know, or is there something some interesting facts or something like do they really hate all truckers?
Nah,
no?
I wouldn't say that. I don't want to group on all of, because there is some longshoremen that's real nice. They helped me out. You got the real nice people, but then that's just with everything, bro. You had the assholes. People who have a bad day. It's not my fault. Your wife at home cheating on you, bro, and you're
driving a dump truck.
Yeah, you're up here but it's just, I don't know, with the longshoremen, it's I think a lot of stuff is not even their fault either though. With the some things it's out of their control, like the empties or whatever might be going on. Who knows? I don't.
They're the ones that we got to see though, so I think that's why it's easier for people to judge, right? It's them. It's them. I just posted a video the other day. This guy sent it, showing how he feels that they do it on purpose and they order less people.
Oh yeah, I seen that. Yeah. That could be true, but that's stuff on their end that we don't know about. We don't know about because, like right now, with Phoenix, I've had to go in there and try to get the same load 4 times. Because one, it's like, all right, y'all don't have no appointments available until midnight, 1 in the morning. I get there early. First time it's in a closed space. Why you let me book an appointment that's in the closed area?
Exactly.
Yeah. That you knew that it was in the closed area. Like you should should have sent the email. This appointment this container's in the closed area. Don't come.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, cool. Now I save my dry run fee or my, what if I send the owner operator in there? I still got to pay him, or fuel, whatever, time, and then second time with that one, went in there, then they're like, oh, it's closed, why we booking appointments and then y'all close it? Or, but like I was saying with the Phoenix thing, they go in there, you go to staging, and it's like, okay, I guess they don't have enough people to service all these containers and whatnot. So it's like, all right, well, I guess that's what that guy's talking about. Like, y'all know y'all have all these appointments. Why you not hiring these people? Because it's like, oh, it's slow or something. Yeah. I don't know.
And then it makes them look bad. He was saying it makes us look lazy.
Yeah, it do.
See it not working.
It do.
And that longshoremen move the containers in there. So.
And especially we're at the biggest port in the fucking nation.
Yeah.
It's like, if you go in there, you see top handlers like hiding in the corner on their phones, and then you sitting there, it's like, okay, this top handler, like I feel like this. If you're in the rows, right, this top handler got a whole long line of, might be taking off empties or whatever, I don't know. But you might be sitting in that same one. You just need this load that's on the top. I feel like the top handler who's not doing nothing, why you just can't come grab this from me and then put it on? I can get out of here. I don't, it's just certain things, and they'll just look at you like you're a fucking retard.
Yeah.
like, bro, you're not doing nothing, man. Like, come on. Team effort here, but whatever.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff to work on, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Also, I mean, even though it's slow now, but like last year, when it was still busy, I feel like like even with the piles and the cranes, I feel like why is there one crane that has to do this whole long ass pile?
Sounds like
the road thing. It's like it's like I feel like have maybe why can't y'all put two? Have one do 100 to 149, and then the other one do 150 to 200 or something like that. I don't know. That's just let me give us control of the port. We'll fix it.
Yeah, the structure.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So.
And to your operation, do you want to scale your business, or are you, are you happy with the way it is at 3 trucks? You said you have now.
Yeah, we got 3. I do want to scale, grow.
Yeah.
I do. Because my mentality is, once you have your numbers, and once you have all your, your authority, MC, DOT, whatever, you're no different from a JB Hunt or Hub Group or NRT or whoever, because they're trucking companies too. They just got way more trucks than you do.
Yeah.
They're out here getting the same contracts that we trying to get. They just have access to better ones because they got the volume and the capacity and all that stuff. So it's just like, you might not want to be that big, but there's literally no difference from all of us.
Well, level playing field now.
Yeah,
now
it's just
okay.
You got to know who you're talking to, and then you got to have that capacity too. So I'm trying to get there.
All right.
Owner ops.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. Trying to help out.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
What was one of the most challenging moments for your business, and how did you handle it?
It's between 2 of them. I would say one of them. I would say right now probably because I ran a lot of loads for a customer.
Yeah.
And I factor my loads, right? And that's another thing. If you go straight to a broker or a freight forwarder or a customer or whatever, they don't factor. So, everybody wants to go straight to the customer, but then it's like, if they don't offer quick pay or something like that, you got to wait that 30 days or 40, But anyways, side note. So I was, I'm factoring my loads to them. And you know how you have to have a NOA or notice of assignment or something, basically like your contract between the factoring company, you, and the customer.
Okay.
It's saying that once you invoice the factoring, that customer is supposed to pay the factoring company what's owed, not you anymore, right?
Okay, yeah.
Okay, cool. So this customer, what they did was I don't know what happened in their system, bro, but they paid me so we ran, I'm gonna just keep the numbers even. We ran like $40,000 worth of loads, right? That my factoring company already paid me. Okay, cool, whatever, bam. It's 30 days later. Now it's time for them to pay the invoices. The company paid me that $40,000.
Okay.
So now I got paid double. So I have to. It's like, all right. So that caused the issue between my factoring company and me because I sent them the money. I don't. Do no shady shit. Sent them the money, but they're like, oh, why did it come to you? I'm like, I don't know, but here's your money. So they're like, oh, well, we need to confirm that that the contract is, still in place because we need to know why they paid you, whatever. Kind of long story. So it happened again.
Oh.
It happened again, bro. They paid me like $16,000. And I'm like, why are y'all paying me? Stop paying me. So now and plus we was already running low. So I still have like another 50 grand out with this company.
Mm-hmm.
So a factoring company hits me like, you know what? Since they did that again, we don't want to work with them no more. So we're no longer going to factor their loads, and we're not going to release any more of your payments until, until we can verify that all of your companies are going to pay us. So now basically it's just happening right now. I got like 40 grand like locked up that I have to pay drivers and stuff, which I, have to pay them from other sources of funds,
the reserve,
reserves. But then it's like, damn, like I have money that's locked up and you can't, especially in a time like this, like money, it's not, I don't tell nobody I know. Well, I don't have no huge savings. So now it's like, okay. So now that's my issue right now, battling that.
Okay.
Very, very, very stressful because it's like,
so, but
thin line of fucking life or death.
but if that company dropped you in a way or dropped them, you're eligible to move to another factoring company.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. See, that's the thing.
They have you locked in.
They got the factoring company got me locked in, so they're like, okay, we're not gonna let you go until they pay everything.
Okay.
And then so now it's like, okay, so this extra batch of 40 grand of invoices that we ran, I gotta wait 30 days for it. So now I'm you're stuck. So it's and then but you can't tell your drivers you stuck because they don't, So
you could even tell them, but as long as you pay them, you gotta keep paying them.
You gotta keep, exactly. So
once you don't pay, that was getting a little. I don't know.
I mean, you have some people that understand and whatever, but like I said, you just gotta keep it real. But that's the one of the most challenging things, that or besides the hazmat spill that we had. Yeah, and that was a lot. That was 3 days of hazmat cleanup team that had to get called out.
Oh, isn't it like 10 grand every time?
Or
20, depending on the spill.
Yeah, it depends, but the invoice we have is like $60,000.
Oh man,
yeah.
See what I mean? You went all in, but it also comes in with.
But it wasn't our fault though.
Okay.
It wasn't our fault. It was a rail load we picked up, and it was a power only. So the load sealed. They on paperwork it says that they signed it, braced it, whatever. They didn't. It wasn't secured. So I guess rather it came from Mississippi. So in transit, from on the train or from when they picked it up and put in the thing, whatever, and it wasn't from us because we just took it up to from Commerce in Santa Fe Springs.
Yeah,
a barrel of hydrosulfuric acid or something like that.
It sounds toxic enough. For
me. Some scary shit spilled, and it started dripping out from the trailer. And all stuff, but it happened. Luckily, it happened inside the customer's yard and not on the street.
Yeah, because imagine someone tailgating you. They're like, "Oh fuck, my eye."
So it happened in there, and it was all bad, bro. The city had to come out, the fire department, they had to check the drains and all that stuff. There's a lot, but like I said, it wasn't our fault because it wasn't a cause that had for CHP to come out. So. But the big company, they try to bully you because you're young, or because you're a small company. And but luckily I know a couple people who have huge brokerages.
I know what's up.
That do hazmat stuff. So they're like, no, bro, if THP didn't have to come out, if there was it wasn't a cause from a driver error, it's not your fault. It's the shipper's fault, which it was. Because once they opened up that door, it was... with some big tote things with the liquid. They held like 250 gallons of liquid. So where you can put them in like a dry van or something, but you technically need a tanker's license for it. It was that stuff and some barrels, and they had it all in with one strap, bro. I'll show you a picture after the thing. It was in there with one strap, and that's what's like, okay, how is this gonna be secure? So this is your fault. And they're like, oh well, you have to call your. I'm like, I'm not calling my insurance for nothing.
Why didn't you break the seal to check the load, bro?
And then like that's what they. That's funny. That's what they asked me. Like, oh, you're supposed to check the load for you. No, I'm not, because the seal number is on this paper.
Yeah.
And it came from the rail yard. It sealed everything to go. If I broke the seal.
Now
y'all gonna be like, oh, we're rejecting the load because
you tampered with it.
Exactly. So how am I gonna know? It's like, it was a lot, but it wasn't our fault. It's their fault. But so
Well, hope that works out, right?
Yeah, it is. It is.
Yeah.
So, but they're gonna want they want me to. The only thing is that they do want me to front up that money for the invoice. They're like, okay, well, yeah, pay the invoice and then we'll pay you. I'm like, all right, at 25%. So,
Oh, okay, there you go.
Yeah, that's what you tell them. That's how you get back. It's like, all right, we'll pay, or if not, I won't get all into it, but
yeah,
that's
okay,
how. So 25% is 60,000 is how much? I don't know, and then that's a little extra money, mate.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah,
it's over 10 grand,
Yeah.
over 12, right?
mm-hmm. Something like that.
I won't expose my weak math skills.
Yeah, me either. Well, I already did. But
I did it on purpose, guys. I just want to see if you guys know what's up with that math.
Yeah.
So
It's a lot.
cool.
Learning experiences, though.
A lot of them, huh?
Mm-hmm. A lot.
And speaking of experiences, what's the most important lesson you've learned during your trucking journey?
That's a hard one. I would say just to try to be more organized. You gotta be, organization can be a huge downfall, because especially with port stuff.
Yeah.
You might think that you returned the container, and you didn't, or it might be in the yard or something. I've heard horror stories about that type of thing, and then they see you got all these per diem fees or whatever, from not staying on top of your inventory. Which why you should use Port Pro. Because they will let you know, like, hey, look, this container is still sitting here. Rather than
get on it,
rather than text messages or trying to think that you can handle everything in emails, because emails can get real mixed up and lost. So that's the thing. And and maintenance and what's the word? Preventative maintenance.
Hey, that's a good
on your trucks.
Yeah,
preventative maintenance, that helps out a lot. So
don't wait till it breaks down and then pay it like 10 times more than you could have.
Yeah, especially for roadside service, because they like to rip you a new one.
Yeah.
Every time they call you out, you call out. I'm out. So,
that's given the situation, right? If you're at a scale, even more. It depends.
Yeah, we had one of them situations.
Yeah.
We had one of them situations too. That's a lesson right there. I'm glad you said that.
Another lesson.
Huh? So we got a load from not even a broker, another company. I ain't gonna say the name, but it was a yard-to-yard load from here to San Diego, and everybody knows about that San Diego scale going down to 5. It's a pain in the ass. So I had a driver who was normally all he's used to is local railroad stuff, not really going past scales or whatever. So he took the load down there and was 4,800 pounds overweight on the tandems.
Oh.
Yeah, 4,800 pounds overweight, And so guess who got in trouble for that? Us. Because we're pulling that load. But even though you could try to kick it back to, to whoever it is, but that's the thing, man. Be careful with stuff like that, because some people will do you dirty. They're like, oh, yeah, it's legal weight, because they told us. I have it written down, like, oh, yeah, it's legal weight, whatever. But still, if it feels heavy, scale it. But that's what he didn't do. So,
do they cover their ass by saying it's legal weight, even if it's
no?
Not? Can they technically lie just to get out of it?
So no, I mean, from what I was told with the lawyer, because we're in court about it and have to get a lawyer, all that stuff. They're saying that they're
that bad to be that overweight.
Yeah,
that much.
It's pretty bad. It's a misdemeanor.
Yeah.
Yeah, or felony. Some misdemeanor or felony, some shit like that.
At that point, the fine, is it by the pound? Is it? I heard it was by the pound, $1 a pound, or
I think it's like they said like $3.
Oh, now
pound
it's
or something like that.
Okay.
Yeah. So because it was overweight, 4,800 pounds on the tandems, and then it was also overweight on the gross too. So that's like a double whammy.
Oh. Yeah, you can't even fix it.
Yeah,
like,
no, you can't. You can't
around.
fix it. Nope. So we had to call the customer, or they had to call the people, and the warehouse people had to come up, because they wouldn't let the truck leave the scale. So they open the load up, and what they call it,
transload.
Yeah, kind of like they had to break it down.
Yeah.
So we had to like put it in the box truck. It was a nightmare, bro.
Who paid for that box truck?
They did. The customer, whoever my people got the load from, they had to pay for it, But I'm the one that got to go to court, because it was my truck and my driver, So, your
driver, okay.
Yeah.
But that driver was with your truck. But if it was me and I have my own truck, and I help you out, and you double brokered that to me, I would be fucked, huh? Because my
You would be, yeah.
My numbers are on my truck. That goes to whoever, right?
Yeah. So you would be, it would be your fault because technically they're gonna be like, well, you're the driver, so they're gonna ask you a question, which they asked my driver. They said, "Did you load this trailer or did you watch him load it?" And he's like, "Nah, it was a sealed container." So it's like, okay, bam. Well, technically you're the driver, so once you hook up to it, you're still supposed to do your pre-check or whatever skill, whatnot. But yeah. So it came on us, but I can try to fight it because if they can pull up the what is it, delivery order or the master bill of lading or whatever it is, if it's overweight on there and they told me that it was legal weight, then it's their fault. But ultimately, I don't know, it could go a lot of different ways, bro. It's a lot, but
it's interesting. All those imports, they're never overweight, bro. They always have like a nice round number,
or anything you see that says legal weight. Like if you ask them, like, oh, how much is this weigh? Oh, it's legal weight. Then it's heavy. Oh, okay. It's heavy because it's like, okay, well, why you don't want to tell me? So I try to stay away from this.
But it's interesting that because should that be part of it? Like you should always scale the loads.
Yeah.
If you're gonna pass a scale, even if it feels okay, should that be a thing?
If it feels heavy, that's why I tell them. I'm like, bro, if the load. They're like, oh, well, because I had put it in the form on the Facebook, and people are like, oh, well, did you tell him to go to the scale? I'm like, I shouldn't have to. That's what you're a professional driver for, bro. Like, if you feel like it's heavy, go scale it. Oh, were you gonna repair it? And I'm like, first off, who's not repaying their company drivers for scale tickets? If you are, shame on you. But
yeah, that's the hindrance.
And I'm just like, no, like, don't even call me and ask me to see if you can scale it. Just go do it. It's $12. I'll give it to you, But now it's like, hey, you're gonna get this ticket, and I'm gonna get this ticket, and it's fucking 5, 6, almost 10 grand. When we could have just paid 12 and be like, oh, it's overweight. All right, let's take it back. So, but yeah,
that's a gamble.
It is.
Yeah.
But technically, by the book, it does say that once the driver connects to it, you're responsible.
Okay.
So as far as the weight and the safety of the load.
Yeah, that's still a unique area where, not to keep touching this subject, but it's not official. Like when you get a load and you're gonna pass scales, go get it scaled. Like it should be like.
Or just
do you feel that should be like automatic? Like,
yeah.
No matter what.
If you're not gonna left lane, scale it. Okay. So and you know what I mean by left lane, but but
hammer down.
Yeah. If you ain't gonna blow by, if you're not gonna blow past it, scale it. Don't blow past scales though. It's not good.
No. That is not our suggestion.
No, do not.
Next question. We're almost at the end of this, so this is one of the last ones. Not the last one, but if you could fix anything at the terminals, well, let me start over. If you could fix anything about the way the terminals operate, what would it be?
Empty returns.
Yeah, empties.
Empty returns. I would say empty returns and appointments. I don't know. When it says no appointments available, I just feel like that's a lie.
You don't trust it?
I don't. Yeah, no. Because how is it no appointments available, but then y'all not busy? And they're like, oh well, maybe because there's no ship coming. I don't know how it works, but I would say my main thing to change would be the empties. Like just take the empty and get rid of it.
And what does the ship have to do with you can't take the empty?
Yeah,
you don't want to store it for free?
Yeah,
like
exactly.
Me?
Yeah, for real. You don't want to store it for free because y'all have way more leverage to charge. And I think it's crazy how brokers, people, how they reach out to us. They're like, oh, I want to be real competitive, or what's your best rates, or whatever.
Best rate.
And then so you're like, okay, our storage fee is, I don't know, $40, $50 a day. They're like, oh, well, the best we can do is, $35.
Yeah, you're gonna tell me how to.
It's like, what? How you gonna tell me? We in this market, and it's the most expensive market in the nation, especially over here. Y'all want y'all load close to the port or whatever, because you don't want to pay the fee to take it away to Victorville.
Yeah. To
store it in that yard where it can be $35 a day.
Ooh.
But
right.
but no. So, but then again, it's like, it's crazy how they want us to do that. But how much? Ask them how much the fees is for storage inside the port, the merge. It's like $220 a day. You know, so why should we take this big ass cut to be responsible for your load? And if it's loaded, we gotta make sure it's gated and secured, because if something happened to it, now it's even more trouble. So it's like, nah. Like, I was just thinking about that over the week. It's like, I feel like we should charge more for storage if we gotta store your loads because your customer isn't ready to take it. You know?
Mm-hmm.
So, $40, $50 a day for an empty. All right, cool, because I don't have to worry about it being broken into.
Yeah, you wish that insurance claim,
right?
All
that stuff. But I feel like if I got to store your load for more than a day or two, I feel like I should be able to charge you $100 a day, $150 a day. Because you're not paying the $220 in the port.
Yeah. Yeah, because you rush to go get it out, even though they're not ready. Otherwise, the last free day kicks in and you're asked
That's
out.
another way how they screw us over. It's fucked up.
Yeah, I didn't see that.
It's fucked up, bro. It's fucked up.
Okay.
But I don't know. Maybe we do need a trucker union or something.
More like transparency with these empties. Like how? Because it's digital, right? How do you know?
Yeah.
How do you know?
Yeah.
Where's the public list?
Yeah, and they don't have that. You got to dig and try to find. Like, I feel like it should be on a simple. It should be one page. Shout out to what's that app that everybody uses? Pure Trucker. That helps a lot for me, because I go to the empty thing and it'll tell you. But it should be a thing on there like, hey, look, starting next week, we're no longer going to accept these empties for however much long, because they know what's what's going on. So that way, companies who are small like me can be like, all right, we might get this one load MSC that might have to go to Vernon or something, wherever. It might be a little cheap, quick run, something like that. But that little $550 or $600 that you might make, it's gonna be pointless, because now you can't get rid of the empty. So now it's like, it's not even worth the hassle. So if you knew that there's no way to get rid of that MSC starting next week, because there's no more appointments, then just be like, all right, I'm not gonna touch that load. But I don't think they want that though. Because it's kind of like a rabbit,
they want it to seem like it just happens as it goes, and but they already know the schedule.
So then we all end up on this hamster wheel, bro, of constantly trying to take out more loads, because you got to use those loads as duals to get rid of your empties. It's a never-ending cycle. Okay. So that's why, like, oh no, duals only. So that's, bro. That's the thing. It's a what is that, conspiracy?
If he goes missing,
for real, bro. Because think about it, it's like, that's how they want us to,
You got good brakes on that truck, right?
And then it's just like, because that's how they want it, and then they can use that. Then go that fucking the carrot before the rabbit's eyes of like, oh, okay, hey, this rate sucks, but you've been sitting on this empty for so long, and now it's a port that's taking this MSC empty on the dual, so you're like, fuck it, I'm gonna take the load because I want to get rid of this because I'm scared of the per diem fees or whatever. It's a lot.
Ooh.
It's a lot. It's a lot of stuff.
So where's the website to get those? What'd you say? The master class. You should hop on that, bro. I know you were playing.
Yeah, man. Shit, bro. Man, I don't know. But like I said, this is only my first year in it, but I keep my eyes open and I try to listen to everybody's advice. And then after so long, you'll start to sift through like what's bullshit and then what's actually like, okay, that's what this person was saying. Or that's what that person was saying.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So that's what I would change. That whole empty.
Please fix our empty issues.
I think. And then I was saying like the trucker union. I think maybe we should do it, because now you have that'll be us fighting the brokers. I feel like it should be a base or a range of what a load might cost to move or something like that. But you don't know anybody's other business, how their expenses are or whatever. But I feel like, okay, so for instance, if it's a load from here to Compton, maybe it should be like a range of between, I'm just say $300 to $400. We should all stick to that price. If somebody can do it for $300, okay, cool. But rather than somebody coming in, it's like, okay, I could do it for $400, but then somebody's like, oh yeah, I'll do it $150. It's like, what, really?
Then what do you do with that person?
Again, but if you could find out, because you'll never know who it is. They're like, I don't take cheap freight, but somebody's running it because they're moving this stuff.
Yeah.
So I think.
Yeah, well, there was the slow rolls. There'll be people like that that'll support it, but the next day they're back at work.
Exactly, you know.
Or repost it and work the same day that it goes
they're
down.
like, oh, I gotta pay to see. It's like, okay,
but I gotta pay bills, man. I got a family.
Like you don't have a couple dollars to not run a day or two. You know, I don't know, but you know, or just ask your broker, like, hey, you know what? I was told from my advisors, the person who says the first number loses. You know what I'm saying? So like in negotiations, if you say the first number, you lost. You know, because
you don't know the playing field.
Yeah, you don't, because it's like, okay, hey, you know, from this low to that, we can do it for $300. But you know, that person might have been thinking like, oh, hey, this broker might have been thinking like, oh, you know what? They might say 600, but if they say if the carrier says 3, they're gonna go with your 3, you know, because they can keep $300. You get what I'm saying? So,
but they already have a number in mind. That's
exactly.
Like that scenario. Give us your best rate.
That's why I'm saying this person.
Oh no, 35. Then motherfuckers say we offered 35, and then you can say
exactly.
You know?
And that's exactly what I was saying. The person who says the first number loses, because they want you to shoot lower. They know that they can pay 3,500 on their load.
Yeah.
But they want you to say, oh, we'll do it for 22. Okay, cool. Here you go. You know? No. So what's your target rate? Oh, we don't have one. Yeah, you do. You got something. You know? Some brokers will tell you like, oh, we're looking to be around like $350. Okay.
Keep looking.
We could do it if it's something for, you know, cheap, like, all right, we could do it for $350. You know? But if not, you're like, hey, you know what, $350 is kind of low. Like, can you meet us around closer to $425? They're like, all right, can you do $400? Okay. You know, something.
Fucking game, huh?
So, yeah, that's all it is, bro. That's all it is. So that's the things that I would change within the port or the industry.
But here's the other side to that. Like, you see that sweet load you mentioned at first, 3,600. Then that would drop down, right? To you probably, because now the average would be way less probably.
Yeah.
Based on that.
You know, but no, I mean, kind of, but not really, because remember I said that was a hazmat load, so that's a different ball game.
Oh, okay.
You know, if it was a regular, they wouldn't pay that much. So you know, and if you're in that ball game right there, then y'all will have a race that consult. Because y'all know what insurance you got to pay. You know the shit that it costs.
Okay,
you know?
Okay.
So that
makes sense.
That type of thing, you know.
Okay.
So yeah.
So did I miss anything? Is there anything you would like to add before we end this?
Nah, I think we talked about a lot of stuff. Yeah, well, we're gonna have a once people hit me up about the class, we're gonna have to.
You low key just manifested a fucking master class right now.
Yeah, we're gonna have to do a part 2 or something, man. Figure out the reviews, or I don't know. But yeah, put something together. Well, it's hard to try to get truckers off because we all fighting from the same pile, and so everybody's trying to.
Well, they say that the deregulation is what kind of makes it even harder because it's fucking
Wild Wild West.
I was looking for the right way to say it. Yeah,
that's what it is.
So, but it is what it is. All we could do is try and then just be, good to each other when we can, and
amen,
and learn as we go.
Yep.
You had a lot of learning experiences.
For real, yeah.
Probably covered someone's ass out there that. You know what I mean?
For real. Or somebody who might need help, they might be like, oh, shit, let me, I had something kind of similar to that or whatever. Let me ask, know. And then it's like, okay, I can tell you because somebody told me that helped me get through this situation. So who am I to hold this information to not help somebody else? Pay it forward. Pay it forward.
Yeah, you did start off like that, right? Like meeting people and going out there. Yeah. All right. The info's out there. You just got to go look for it and ask the right questions.
Yep.
So. All right. Where can they find you online?
I don't have. No, I'm just kidding. Online, my Instagram is CPT. So Charlie Peter Thomas _ Wheelin WHEELIN. So yeah, you can find me on there. Send me a DM or your story thing when you.
Yeah,
the thing you tag me in.
Oh, also I've been putting the guest IGs in the description. So,
okay.
Boom, there it is.
Cool.
All right.
Cool.
Thank you guys for tuning in, and we'll see you on the next one. And thank you for showing up.
Thanks for having me, bro.
All right. Yeah, I think I did it backwards, but yeah, okay. Bye, guys. Peace.